pure lockdown build is the #1 ranked defensive build on NBA 2K26. It gets a 94 speed and 93 agility, making it easily one of the fastest defensive builds on the game. This build gets unlimited steals and forces unlimited turnovers. This build is potentially going to be the new meta for lockdowns on 2K26. If you've been looking for a defensive build, then you've got to see what I just created. We're almost at 100K subscribers. Today closer, let's play the sub game. You must subscribe if your favorite color is green. You must subscribe if you were born in January, August, or September. You must subscribe if you spent way too much money on 2K. I know some of y'all just subbed up after that one. And you must subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy because they're giving away $100 to all of you guys. All you have to do is sign up using my code SOLO and play a $5 pick'em. They will give you $100 win or lose on your $5 pick'em. And on top of this, you also get a gimme pick like this Ashton Genty 1 yard special. All he has to do is get 1 yard for you to win. All Underdog Fantasy is higher, lower end player stats. You can make up to 8 different picks, mix and matching different sports. This is my favorite time to play because you got the NFL season, you got the NBA season, you also got the NHL season if you were into that. They also drop a ton of random specials like this 30% profit boost. So if all 8 of my picks were correct with the 30% profit boost, my $20 turned to over $3,000. Take advantage of this $100 special. They're literally giving away $100. I'll put a link in the description. You can download the Underdog app. Again, just make sure to put in code SOLO when you sign up and you'll be able to take advantage of all of these crazy offers. Have some fun, but be sure to play responsibly. What's up guys, it's Solo back with another video, and today is finally the day that I'm going to be showing you guys my brand new 6'6" lockdown build. Before I show you guys that build, I want to show you my original lockdown build. I posted this build probably a month ago, and this build right here is a 6'7" lockdown. This is still a very good lockdown, but now that I've had 2 months to play the game, figure out what matters most on defense, I went ahead and tweaked this build to be a more optimized build for how the game actually plays, especially considering in the new patches and stuff that they dropped. Before we get into anything, and I have to say it because the comments are always flaming me, they just don't understand the point of a build like this. This build is a pure lockdown build. It is a lockdown defender. It is not an all-around build, so that's why I don't have ball handle. Some people get confused. This is a build that's going to come down and lock up the other team's guard. That is the sole purpose of the build. And then on offense, you're mainly going to be spotting up in the corner, which as you guys can see on this build, we have an 89 mid-range giving us gold set shot, which you get +2 up to legend. So the point of this build is to be knocked down in the corner and to lock up the opposing team's guard. It's not to make an all-around build with pass sack and ball handle and everything. I don't know why I gotta say that, but I do. And without further ado, this is how you create the best, in my opinion, the best lockdown build in 2K26. So handiness doesn't really matter. I always go with righty. Jersey number, of course, put whatever you want. Position does not change your attributes whatsoever. It just changes where you line up on the court. So when I play prom and rec, I want to line up at the 3, so I'm going to go with small forward. My last lockdown build, the build that I just showed you guys, was 6'7", but after playing comp pro-am a lot and playing some stage and all that, these builds are good, but I think that it is better to go with a build that is shorter, lower on the weight, and is just going to be faster. So like I said in the intro, this build is going to get, once we put our weight to a 192, you guys will see 94 speed, 93 agility. Now this build is going to have lower strength, but after testing defense, testing strength, you could play some insane defense with a lower strength. You don't need an 85 strength. Also, if you were curious, you'll be able to use this build on any court. I mean, it'll be kind of tough to use on the 1s because you can't really dribble, but on the 2s, 3s, and 5s, this build will be valid. Now for the wingspan, I like to go max on all of my defensive builds in any other 2K, but in this one, I want to get legend set shot. You could go max if you want to, but if you want to get that 89 mid-range shot for gold set shot, which you can then +2 up to legend, you got to bring the wingspan down 1. So we're gonna go 6'11" on the wingspan just so we can secure that 89 mid-range. Now we have the attribute screen, and something you guys need to know is the build specialization and the cap breakers. All of this stuff matters a lot. Also the badge perks, of course. There's a lot that goes into making builds this year. And so the build specialization that I'm using is going to be shooting. You could use another one, but I don't feel like grinding defense or something like that. And what people don't know is you could put the shooting cap breakers on your physicals as well. So like I said, we're going 94 speed, 93 agility. We could put the shooting cap breakers on physicals. Let's start off with our defense. Perimeter defense is going to be the most important attribute when it comes to these defensive builds. Of course, steal is pretty important, but on this game, the steals are just not that crazy. So what we're going to do, this is pretty obvious. We're going to go 94 perimeter, and we're going to put 5 of our cap breakers on perimeter to get a 99 perimeter defense, which will give us every perimeter defense badge on legend. Next up, we have our steal. I'm going to be putting the steal up to a 93, but then we're going to cap break it. I'm not putting 5 cap breakers on it though. We're going to use 3. So that's going to be 8 of our cap breakers, 5 on perimeter, 3 onto steal, and that will give us Hall of Fame glove and Hall of Fame interceptor, which you can easily +1 those up to legend with your badge perks if you want. Definitely interceptor. Glove is up to you, it's personal preference. Being the best lockdown build, I want to do that. You know, I'd prefer to put glove and interceptor both legend instead of getting like a shooting badge up to like gold or something like that. I want my defense to be insane. So +1 both of those up to legend. And before I even finish out the defense, let's do the physicals, because again, speed and agility are going to matter a lot. That is the whole point that I made this build, because my last build was getting killed going up against some of these top guards. Build is probably dragging it, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I just felt slow. I'd get beat up the court, just wouldn't be able to keep up with these, you know, former 2K League guards. And so I'm like, you know what? I need a build that's quicker. We'll take a hit to our strength, which I'll explain that in a second. But for our speed, we're going to be going 89 in the builder. I'm going to be cap breaking speed and agility. So we're going to go 89 speed and we're going to go 88 for the agility, which once again will give us every defensive badge on legend. You can see right there, on ball menace, pick dodger, slippery. So our cap breakers, we're going to put 3 on, well, we're going to put 5 on speed. So this build's going to get a 94 speed, and we're going to put 5 on agility for a 93 agility. So 94 speed, 93 agility. If you do the math, that's 10 cap breakers on speed and agility, 15 if we count the perimeter defense, and then another 3 on skill. That's 18 cap breakers. That's a lot of cap breakers. A lot of you guys are not going to be able to make this build yet unless you're like a veteran too. But if you want to make a variation of this build, it is very easy. You could just go a little bit lower on the speed or agility, or you could bring down the steal. I do recommend keeping the 99 perimeter defense though. And if you have any questions on how to tweak the build for less cap breakers, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to respond to as many as I can. For the strength, we're still going to want to get a movable enforcer. So we're going to go 71 for the strength for bronze and movable, and then you can +2 immovable to gold. This is a tier 2 badge, so it's easy to +2 that. For our vertical, we're going to put this up to a 65 for posterizer, which we'll get to in a second. Finishing off the defense, our block is going to be at a 74, which gives us high flying denier. And then once we put our interior defense up to a 74, so we're going to have good interior, good perimeter. We are going to have paint patroller as well. And we're also going to have post lockdown on bronze. Again, something I want to explain, I'm mainly going to be using this build on the 5s court. Now, when you play 5s, you're going to be at the top of the key, guarding, you know, the point guard or the shooting guard, switching onto them. If someone runs into the paint, the power forward usually takes that, you break off and you stay at the top of the zone. So block and interior defense are not going to matter too much. It will help with chase downs, but I don't need like a 99 block on this build. Next up, let's upgrade our shooting. And this is something that I started doing at community day. Literally when I first got my hands on the game, was I started going 89 on the mid range so that you get gold set shot, and then you can easily +2 that up. Again, we're going shooting specialization, so with that shooting badge perk, +2 set shot to legend, it's going to make a huge difference for your catch and shoot shots. I literally do not miss wide opens on this build. And for the 3-pointer, we're going to get limitless range, so we're going to put our 3-point shot up to an 83. And as you guys can see, we're going to have legend set shot with the badge perk. You can also put up deadeye or shifty or limitless if you want. Again, we have the shooting specialization, so you have that option if you want it. But a lot of our badge perks are going to be going on defense, stuff like glove, interceptor, as I said before. But with the 89 mid-range, the 83 3-point shot, you're going to get every jump shot base that you want on these type of builds. You're going to get elite shooting. That's your job on this build. This is a specialist type build. This isn't a build that's going to come down, ISO you and shoot a 3 in your face, right? We're not putting ball in on this build. This is going to be more of a spot up specialist 3-and-D type of build. Next up, let's upgrade our finishing. Standing dunk matters a lot when we talk about lockdowns, because again, you're spotting up in the corner usually, maybe you're on the hash, whatever. But if your point guard sends you on a cut, you want to be able to have a high standing dunk. You want to be able to have that rise up badge, you know, on at least bronze. I kind of go a little overkill potentially, but I like it a lot because every time I cut back door, it's an easy rise up, easy standing dunk for an easy bucket. So we're gonna go 81 standing for silver rise up. We also have silver aerial wizard. And if we go ahead, and I have not done this in a minute, but if we go to the animation glossary and then we go down to the standing dunk packages, you guys will see we're gonna have basically, hold up, there we go, dunks. You guys will see we're gonna have basically every single standing dunk. So you guys can see right here, we get these 3 on the left, and then we get elite basket rim pulls, and we get 2-hand under basket athletic. Next, we're gonna put our dunk up by 2 to get bronze posterizer. Again, that's why we put our vertical up to 65. If you don't really understand how 2K26 is played, you'd probably say, oh, well, you're gonna want layup, right? It's only 54. Not really, because every time I'm in the paint, it's either a driving dunk or it's a standing dunk. We're not going to put layups, and if for some reason it gives us a layup, we're gonna make it because it's wide open and we're not Stevie Wonder. Now this build is gonna be usable on the threes. My last lockdown, I did not put a lot of rebounding on it because in Pro-Am, I just do not crash. You know, I got to get back in the break. I got to play defense. That's just not a lockdown's job to crash. I know it sounds kind of weird at first, but when you really think about it, it makes sense. So I want this build to be versatile. I want to be able to use it on the threes and even the twos potentially. We will have a little bit of rebound. We're going to get bronze rebound chaser, 60 O board, 54 D board. Now, if you are planning to play mainly threes with this build, I would recommend tweaking it and getting a little more rebound, maybe go 71 O board or maybe go 71 D board. That's a nice number that I like. And then also I'd probably want a little bit more vertical as well on the build, but I'm mainly gonna be playing fives and I do not need rebounding like that. Lastly, no, we have free throw after this, but pass accuracy, we're gonna put to a 65 for break starter. You know, you get a steal, you get a lane steal, you gotta throw it down to your shooting guard on the break. Bronze break starter is more than enough, especially because you'll have two-way as well. So that pass is gonna get there. 65 pass hack has been doing me just fine. And with the rest of this, we're gonna put this on free throw for a 66 free throw, which I don't miss free throws with that, so don't worry. This is the final lockdown build. Again, if you skip to this part of the video, listen up. This is a specialist type build. It's not an all-around build. It's not an ISO build, okay? So we gotta get that straight. And also, you gotta know where the cap breakers are going. So this build is built for 18 cap breakers. That's a veteran 2 build. 5 go to perimeter. So we're gonna have every single perimeter badge on legend. Then we're putting 3 on steel. Glove and interceptor are gonna go to Hall of Fame. So that's 8 cap breakers right there. You can also +1 into legend easily with the badge perks. That's 8 cap breakers. We're gonna put 10 on speed agility. So 5 on speed, 5 on agility. We're gonna have a 94 speed, 93 agility with a 99 perimeter defense and a 96 steal. And then with the 89 mid-range, we're gonna +2 set shot, 2 legend. This is the best 3-and-D build in NBA 2K26, especially for the 5v5 court. For the 3v3 court, you could tweak this a little bit. Again, like I said, I'd probably want a little more rebounding, a little more vertical. I'd make a few changes. But I really like this build, and here are the base badges as you guys can see on the bottom. But again, a lot of these gold badges are going to be legend once we have our cap breakers on. So I mean, this doesn't really matter too much. And then here are all the takeovers that you can get. I know some of you guys care about takeovers, so take a look at what we have here, but I will be using a custom takeover. If we go ahead and click continue to confirm the build, we get shades of Ron Artest, Dan Marley, Kawhi Leonard, prime Kawhi Leonard, and it's gonna say that we have built a 2-way mid-range scorer. The strength can lock up multiple positions, times interceptions perfectly, stops and fires with ease, outruns defenders in transition, and the weaknesses are not a very good defensive rebounder, which on defense, I'm never crashing for the board anyways on 5s. I'm running the break with the shooting guard, and then layups don't fall under pressure. That's fine with me because every time we're going up, it's gonna be a standing dunk or a driving dunk. All right, so I'm now on the build, and this is what it looks like for me. Again, I'm not veteran 2 yet. I'm almost there. So right now I only have 92 speed, 92 agility, but once I get those 3 cap breakers, we're gonna go 94 speed, 93 agility. This thing is gonna be insane. It has been playing insane for me so far on defense. And of course, you're gonna wanna go with the shooting specialization if you already have it done. I mean, it's just easy. You can throw the cap breakers on speed and agility. And the takeover that I've currently been using is going to be this one. It is a custom takeover with +10 to my 3-pointer, giving me a 93 3-point shot. And then the takeover ability is going to be hydration hero. This gives you unlimited reaches without draining your stamina. And I don't usually put this in videos, but I got y'all with the animations. I usually say, hey, go watch the jump shot video, go watch this video, go watch that, but I got you guys. You need a jumper for a tall guard, here you go. It's gonna be right here. This is what I use in my guard as well. So base Matt Ryan, release 1 is Baluba, release 2 is Sadiq Bey, full release speed, 60% Baluba, 40% Bey. Then we have the dunk style creator. I don't put on too many dunks. I don't have any 2-foot dunks, but for 1 foot, I have on the athletic hangs off 1. So go ahead and put that on. Then we have on the rim pulls, and we have the athletic standing dunks. And we have the Klay Thompson signature dunks on. I believe that is going to be it. Actually, no, we have the pro alley oops. Here's everything else. They use James Harden free throw, KD go to. Pro 2 for dribble pull up is actually very important. You guys can see the rest. And then we also have the motion style down here. Jalen Suggs is what I'm using all year. That is a very good defensive motion style. Also, make sure you have on the Kobe Bryant triple threat style so you can get those jab step little extra buckets. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed this video, click the video popping up your screen right now.